Medtronic reporting a quarterly profit above Wall Street estimates, helped in part by a stronger demand for ventilators amid the pandemic, but also many other things because the gross margins were extraordinary here. Medtronic Chairman and CEO Geoff Martha joins us right now, first on CNBC. I'm going to go right to it, Geoffrey. Your MITG, which is the Minimally Invasive Therapies Group, had an extraordinary 4.6% organic growth, which is huge. How are you able to do that?
Well, this quarter, some of that came from ventilator sales and pulse oximetry sales, which were, helping patients with COVID. But actually, that is a relatively small part of the company's total revenue. Really, in that MITG division, what really drove a lot of it also is our surgical business, which is one of our core franchises. It's our largest business, and it had a really strong quarter and took market share.
People don't understand your neuromodulation business. Now, you and I have talked about it off camera. It's extraordinary. You own it. No competition. 3% organic growth. Explain to people the wonder of this division.
Look, as you mentioned, Jim, neuromodulation is a wonderful technology that does so much for patients and I think has a very bright future. Medtronic invented it over 20 years ago, and we're in a couple of segments. One is a brain modulation for treatment of neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, pain, where we actually block using an implantable stimulator to block pain signals to the brain to alleviate back and leg pain. And then another one, which is not talked about a lot, but is a big market, probably $800 million, almost $1 billion market and growing double digits right now, is overactive bladder. Incontinence for women in particular. And this is a business that, people don't like to talk about it very much, but it's a huge need out there. And that market is growing in the double digits. And we stimulate a nerve, it's the sacral nerve, to control overactive bladder. So in overall, what you're seeing here is between the miniaturization of electronics, the introduction of data, and the ability to personalize therapy through closed loop. We are moving to the front of the line here for therapies for these conditions.
Geoff, is this the year that you can go up against Dexcom, go up against Abbott with Libre? Because your diabetes franchise was first among equals. And I know that you're just chomping at the bit to be able to compete here.
Absolutely. Look, diabetes is probably the biggest area that we're focused on and getting back to that market growth. And we compete against those guys, but we're the one company, though, that has the complete solution. The insulin delivery, the continuous glucose monitoring, the algorithms that drive those technologies, as well as the customer service, because it's a heavy patient interaction business, and we're global. And we are the one company with that total solution versus the piece parts. And our weakness has been the continuous glucose monitoring, and we're launching a number of products in that area that will get us back to a competitive position. Matter of fact, we just launched our new, what we call our 780G closed loop system in Europe, and we are gaining share there. It's not in the United States yet. We can't wait to get it to the United States. We're gaining share. The patient feedback is phenomenal. And the time and range, which diabetics like to manage, is at levels we've never seen before. So give us optimism for the future for that division.
Speaking of the future, Jeffrey, the Times has a piece out this morning talking about the health effects that come from a period like the pandemic where you had a dramatic drop-off in preventative care, doctor visits for an entire year. And the question is, how does that manifest itself as we come out of the pandemic? Do you think that although it's tragic for that patient population, that will drive demand in the back half of this year?
Well, first of all, let me address the patient situation. It is a tragic situation, and Medtronic, as well as some of our competitors, are working with the different physician societies and the hospitals to get campaign public messaging out there. Matter of fact, Medtronic with the American Heart Association sponsored a campaign called "Don't Die of Doubt." Encouraging patients who are having symptoms to get to the hospital, because we are seeing patients present themselves further down into their condition, and it is a problem. And so, yes, it will drive it will drive demand. There'll be a pent-up demand, and patients will be hitting the hospitals. And we're seeing hospitals gear up for that. And in our quarterly earnings here, we talked about our capital equipment sales. We do sell equipment directly tied to these procedures, and hospitals are buying this capital equipment, things like consoles that power surgical tools, surgical robots like we talked about for orthopedics, in our case spine, navigation systems for surgery. We're seeing that capital equipment sales at record levels because they're preparing for this patient rebound.
Geoff, look, it's a remarkable quarter, and people should know that this is done when many people don't want to go to a hospital for be able to do tests. That's Geoffrey Martha. A wonderful quarter of Medtronic, Geoffrey. Thank you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.